Get a chair. In African folk tales, every time we see the hare, it's automatic that we think he's going to win. The hare has always won against all other animals, and not because of his brute strength, his large frame, or anything else for that matter, but because of his wit and intellect. This failed him, however, when he was racing against the tortoise. Halfway through the journey, he decided to sleep under a tree, and the tortoise kept walking, slowly but surely, until he crossed the finish line. Hours later, when the hare woke up, the race had been won by the tortoise. Episode 807, Kenya's first digital record label.
I always tell people dedication beats talent any day. You can't beat someone who just doesn't know how to quit.
It's true. It's true.
Like, I can imagine how long you have been doing this. I'm honestly seeing this becoming a series that literally TV stations will be begging you to air.
Before this, I used to think that Kega is actually a shout out. I didn't know it's a brand name. So I learned it's a brand name actually through the title of the series. And so now you know.
I say President General among the
Most people assume that consistency is having like this unbroken streak. Personally, I think it's the other way around. It's being able to go back and do the same thing over and over again, regardless of the number of times you break that streak. I'll give you an example. It had been 5 weeks since I last went swimming. And when I went back to the water, I had not forgotten all the things I had learned and worked hard on all those times before. What happened rather, I just picked up where I left off. Going to Eric Motiso's CTA, he says that when an addict stops drinking alcohol for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, regardless of the amount of time, if he ever goes back to drinking alcohol, he will pick up where he left off. One thing that's notorious in breaking streaks in our life is what we perceive as failure, however that looks like for you. But this is what Kega has to say about failure.
The easiest way to succeed is to give failure as many chances as possible.
You're talking about a business that you're telling us is doing $3 million, even if it's gross revenue.
Yeah.
You get 300 million shillings, guy, and with change. That business going down, that is painful.
Yeah.
But you are now talking about restarting that business.
I already did.
I think many of you have seen these memes going around. Conflict is very essential in crafting a story. If there's no conflict, we don't have a story, because what are we going to listen to here? They lived happily ever after. That's the beginning and the end, you get. So in life, I found that in depression, most times it's a lack of hopelessness. It's hopelessness. It's a lack of hope and a lack of purpose. Why am I even alive? And most times what gives you purpose is problem solving. But for you to problem solve, there has to be a problem to begin with. So the very essence of why you're alive, or why you're doing what you're doing, you are solving a problem. So it means a problem had to exist before you had to exist to solve that problem for you to feel you need to exist in the first place, if that is making sense. Conflict, friction, problems, depending on how you choose to interpret them in your life, they can end up being your accelerators for getting to the next level. And I'll give you an example. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. It's all in how you choose to respond. There are things that, let me say, the enemy can't do to you. There are choices he can't make for you. He can use his manipulative tactics to push you to a place where you will make a choice that disfavors you. And part of that is giving in to failure. So don't. That means that even failure is too weak to stop you from achieving what you want to achieve.
The worst thing is everyone is trying to steal from you. Okay, CCTVs and all those things help, but then I'm telling you, guys are creative. Guys are so creative. You have no idea.
But we keep saying that it's the politicians who are corrupt, but the politicians are just the best of the best. They've made it to the top.
That's Champions League.
That's Champions League. But you here who are playing Division 1 and Division 2, you still got the same DNA. I'm upset for you.
Wusa.
Wusa.
A quick summary as we conclude. Dedication beats talent any day. No one can beat a person who refuses to quit. The easiest way to succeed is to give failure as many chances as possible, but I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't feel amazing. I don't even want to know I am remotely attracting failure in the mighty name of Jesus. May I only fail to fail. And the last thing on this topic of integrity, morality, being trustworthy, I was having a conversation with my friend the other day. She told me she wants to get a nanny, and she'll make it clear to her nanny that it doesn't matter if she comes home and she finds the house in disarray, the whole place is a mess. If her child is well taken care of, then she'll be okay regardless. And I asked her, because I understand, then like this is your child, you're trusting your child to another human being. I understand where she's coming from. And I asked her, if you were to be a nanny, would you mistreat somebody's child? And she said, never, I'd never do that, no way. And I said, exactly, then it means there's someone like you out there. So my hope for you is in everything in life, work, socially, everything, your friends, your family, the people you choose to employ, in everything, I pray that you may attract like-minded people. Now, if you're a bad person, no wonder. But we are going to have a deep dive of this conversation in tomorrow's video, so make sure to catch that. Other than that, I'll be very, very happy to hear your feedback.